So, if there are auras around everybody, and those auras are sending out different types of energy, is it possible that everyone can be influenced by the energy that's put out from other people? Whether you feel energized or depleted by being in the presence of somebody else. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the energy that you get influenced by being around a certain type of person. This is continuing from my previous video about auras, but in this video we're going to be talking about how you can make sure that you're in a right energy field around different people and who you should be looking out for that influence you negatively. So I was just doing a bit of research, as I normally do, and I came across an article which I found really interesting because it went over a lot of points that I actually agree with, and it kind of puts it into a class that a lot of people can relate to. The article is by Sarah Kathleen Peck. I believe she's a creative writer who obviously posts blogs. I've never come across her before, but the article talks about how people that you associate with make you feel a certain way when you're around them, and this has truth in it. When you're around a certain person, how do you feel when you're around that person? Do you feel uplifted, or do you feel drained after being around somebody? In the article, I believe she talks about how one of her friends and her, they got together and they decided to think about all the different types of people that they're friends with, all the people that they don't really talk to but they're still kind of friends with, and how those people influence them, make them feel on an energetic level. And they came up with about 12 categories as such that those people fit into. I'm not going to talk about all 12 of these categories because I urge you to actually read the article yourself because it's really informative. I'm going to glaze through a few of the categories and just talk about this experience that you can experience for yourself. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Talk about this experience you can experience for yourself. So there's a category which starts off with the positives. These are the positive people that make you feel great energetically. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the Happies. Now, the Happies are people who make you feel happy. Obviously, it's in the name. But these are people that are just always happy, and they make you feel like playful and make you feel just a bit more relaxed. They're the sort of people that you can laugh with all the time. They're always cracking jokes, and they're just very happy people to be around. Now, if you just really think about people in your life that make you feel a certain way, that influence your behaviour. So, I mean, there's countless people that I can think of that are just so happy all the time, and there's people who they're cracking jokes and they just want to laugh with people, they just want to be happy. I love those sort of people. But obviously I wouldn't want to be around that sort of person for a long time because I personally would feel drained after a while. Not in a bad way, it's just that I prefer to be around more philosophical minds. I can't say the word. Philosophical. I don't know. I like to talk about things instead of just having banter all the time. But that's just my personal character. So these people just make you feel very playful and just make you feel a bit giddy and just like you want to chat and have fun, really. Those are the Happies in this context of their clarification. So think about people like that in your life and just think, how do you feel when you're around that person? Are they beaming with energy? Do they make you feel good inside? The second one that I'm going to be talking about are the wonder listeners. Now, these people are the sort of people who seem to listen to you with their whole being, and they're always just giving out advice and just talking to you, and they seem to exude a positive radiance even without talking or anything. They just seem to be a nice energy to be around, and after being around these sort of people you feel happy and inspired, and it's just a good feeling. You feel energized after being with them. So it's not like the sort of people that are, obviously you can have banter with these sort of people, but in a different compared to the Happies are more just playful all the time, but the Wonder Listeners are the sort of people who are a bit more quiet, but they still exude positivity and make you feel good. The next category is the middle ground and the stabilizers, people who bring you down to earth. So one of these is called the quiet stabilizers, and these are the people who you can walk in a park with and just talk about things, and they're quite a mellow personality, but they're still very relaxing to be around, and they make you feel safe and just restorative. And these people are, again, very quiet, but they kind of just bring you down to earth and make you feel okay, and just there's not much stimulation, you don't have to talk to them that much, but even just being around them feels great. The next category would be the feedbacks, and this is an interesting one because there's a lot of people that I actually know who have this feedback personality, and these are the sort of people who will be brutally honest with you, and they aren't afraid to express their opinion, and they will always put their opinion out there, even if it's a sort of opinion that you don't really want to hear. These people they're always looking out for you in the long run, but they will be brutally honest with you, and they will tell you, they'll argue for you, they'll fight for you. These are the sort of people they're great people to be around, but they're so energetic, and I guess they do bring you down to earth a little bit. It's not like if I think about it, when I'm around these feedback sort of people, I feel driven when I'm around them. I feel like, right, I know what to do. I feel inspired, even if I don't agree with what you've said. It's like, thank you for giving me that outside opinion that even if I don't agree with it, it makes me feel driven, because their energy just beams out at you. Not like making you feel happy and like laughing and stuff. It's different. It's like an inner fire that like drives you, and these are the feedbacks, and there's a lot of people, and I'm sure that you can relate for yourself if you think about people who even if you don't agree with what they're saying, they say with such confidence, and they're looking out for you in the long run. There's so many people like that. Now, the last category is the negatives, and I don't like to look at people in a negative way. I like to think that everyone has some kind of hope within them and a bit of light, but there are people who don't see another way in life, and they seem to get trapped in a negative state, and that's not their fault. Well, it is their fault, but it probably comes up to do with upbringing of some kind that gets them trapped in a loop. But obviously they haven't seen another side of life, and they haven't got out of that. So yeah, negatives. The first category of the negatives are the non-changers. There is quite a few people that I can think about which make me feel this way, and the non-changers are the sort of people that when you're talking with them, they are constantly in the same sort of battle, and it's always the same thing. You get a sense of deja vu when you're talking to them, and they just go on and on with no change, and it's the same negative crap that they're talking to you about. And even if you're telling them valid points, that they'll go, yeah, but they're not actually listening. They don't act on what you say. They're the sort of people that you would give so much advice for, you listen, you give your time to them, but they just don't change. Well, eventually they change, but after a long time, and after the time is gone, you're probably done with them. These people would make you feel drained and just like, and it's like an effort to have to go talk with them, because you know what's coming. You know it's just going to be the same complaining, just like, give it a rest. So there's a few people that I can think that makes me feel that way. The next one is the negative influences. Now, these type of people I feel bad for them, because they aren't necessarily bad people, but they just make you feel negative. Even if they are like very bright and creative, they have all this stuff going for them, when you're around them, you just feel negative, or almost you just feel no benefit or any energetic change when you're around them. It feels just glum and negative, and you just feel negative being around them. There's not really much to say on that point, apart from how you feel when you're around that person. It's quite easy to see somebody who's negative, because they make you feel a certain way, and when you're around that negativity, you're not going to hang out with them anymore, so you you spot it immediately. I do feel bad for those sort of people because they don't necessarily mean to be that way. There probably is something swimming about in their subconscious that's making them be that way, something that we're feeling on an energetic level that you're not really aware of, but nevertheless it's still there, and I feel bad for these sort of people. And again, I do know a few people that are like that. So I'm not going to talk about any more of the categories there, because I want you to actually read the article for yourself, because it really is a fascinating article. So I want you to think about how different people make you feel and how you feel when you're around certain types of people. So if you're seeing one of your mates, for example, you probably do feel some kind of energetic uplifting, hopefully, unless you're around a negative friend. If you're around a negative friend, think about how you feel after being with them. Do you feel any different? Do you feel drained? Do you feel uplifted, restored, or do you feel nothing? You know, you can obviously feel nothing. You can just feel there's no benefit energetically for being around a certain person. You just don't feel anything, which is fine, I guess. So just think about who you're around and who makes you feel good and who makes you feel bad. And it's really good to be aware of this feeling, because you can now structure your life to know who to be around and who to share your energy with, because what's the point in wasting your energy when you're not getting any benefit from it? You're just draining yourself for no reason. Now, I would feel bad if I were just to cut negative people from my life, because obviously, you know, there's still friends or family I still associate with them. So I think it's a bit unfair just to cut people like that, but maybe just be aware of how you feel around certain people. So I think it's really good to be aware of how people make you feel on an energetic level. I want you to reflect upon this video and just think about how you feel when you're around certain people, and please read the article. I will leave a link for it down in the description below, just so you can click on it, obviously. And please read it. It really is informative, and just think about how you feel when you're around people and how you possibly make other people feel. Think about the energy that you're putting out there to other people, because you don't know, you could be a negative influence to somebody else, or you could be a positive to somebody else. It's very changeable. So that's what I mean about negative influences. Like, they could be negative to you, but then their energy could work with somebody else. Their energy could be actually a positive to somebody else. So it changes, but just be aware of what energy you're putting out there and what you feel from other people, and try not to think too much about the other person. Think about yourself, your space and your energy, and keep your energy, because your energy is sacred, and energy can neither be created nor destroyed, which is something that everyone learns in science. Energy can be sent out, it can be received, so try to save your energy for good events. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative. I will be posting another video shortly, and just keep a lookout for that, and I will see you in the next one.